take it away for us.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. This is the Human Resources Committee meeting. This is February 3rd, 2021. Present are Nadine Allen, the chair. I'm the chair. Karen Clemens and Elizabeth Lamacchia, along with our executive director, Paula Bremheger. Paula Bremheger. This report is from Kyla Harden, our Human Resources Director, and she's with us here today too. So the first item is diversity, equity, and inclusion. The library is continuing to focus on our diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts with Human Resources Manager Michelle Matthews, leading this work with the oversight of HR Director Kyla Harden. Phase 2, which included listening sessions for our BIPOC staff, which is our Black, Indigenous, what does the BIPOC stand for, people?
You had it, people of color. You got it.
People of color, okay. Staff that were facilitated by Design Impact, successfully concluded in November, and phase 3 is in progress. During phase 3, senior leadership was briefed on the broad-based themes that emerged from the listening sessions. Hearing from our staff has been a critical component and will help guide the work to move our organization forward. Phase 3 also includes working to build a bridge from Design Impact's efforts with the listening sessions to the work that the DEI consultant, Jennifer Ingram, will be leading. Jennifer will be conducting a racial equity assessment and diagnostic read to identify areas of opportunity to integrate changes to our policies, practices, and procedures with a DEI lens. And with that, I'm going to introduce to you, is Miss Ingram here that we're introducing at this time?
Yes.
All right. Miss Jennifer Ingram is present. I'm going to turn the program over to you to introduce the concept of the initiative. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Judge Allen. I'm Jennifer Ingram, founder and CEO of Calibrated Lens. It's an honor to be with you all today. A little brief background. I moved to Cincinnati in June of 2018 to take on a role within a local nonprofit leading diversity, equity, and inclusion. Prior to that, I had an extensive background and career in healthcare, specifically the Mayo Clinic, as well as Henry Ford Health System. So large matrixed organizations where I held enterprise roles. More specifically, as it relates to my time here in Cincinnati, I've done quite a bit to both engage in the community as well as with organizations, both for-profit and not-for-profit, through my consulting firm, Calibrated Lens. Calibrated Lens is a boutique equity and inclusion consulting firm that specializes in helping organizations to integrate tenets of diversity, equity, and inclusion into everything that they do. We tend to talk about this in terms of an old equation versus a new equation. The old equation really being diversity equals inclusion, or looking at representation and isolation. What we specialize in is helping organizations understand where the greatest levers exist to integrate these practices across policies, practices, and procedures to create more equitable and inclusive outcomes for all. Over the past 6 months or so, I've been actually sitting in and listening during the Design Impact sessions, as well as serving as a contributor and aiding in the design of the follow-up and subsequent retreats. I think it's important to highlight that largely because it serves as an indicator that there will not only be a bridge of content carrying over from that session into the work that we'll do with the library, but more importantly, that I've actually been engaged in the process, intimately involved with the individuals that have been leading that work. And we are firm believers in everything happens by way of relationship. What I hope you generate and gather from our time together today and future engagements is that we are not a transactional firm that will give you a report that'll sit on the shelf. We are going to deeply engage in the organization across all of your multiple facilities, while also ensuring that we're not being transactional, but instead facilitating transformational change within the library system. Just a couple of other points. I think I had about 5 minutes. So Paula, feel free to ping me if I go a little long. I want to be respectful of your agenda. But a couple of other things that I think are important to note are the various phases that we'll go through within the assessment. We will look at first an environmental scan informed by the earlier sessions that Deep Design Impact held and the community insights that were gathered. Again, we will not be redundant. We hope to be informed by earlier work and build on what has already taken place. Specifically looking at ensuring that there's sustainability of these efforts across the organization, and that the end product, again, looking at the environmental scan, the policy practices, procedure, and infrastructure review. The third component is to better understand leadership engagement and understanding around DEI, both by way of awareness building activity that has taken place at earlier times, as well as how they're engaging with staff, employee engagement, and last but not least, an external analysis. So those are the 5 components of the assessment. The assessment period will largely be driven by how we move through each phase. I would anticipate anywhere from 3 to 6 months. That's barring we have no issues, no extensions. There are no unforeseen circumstances that impact the library, which we know things happen. I think back to when we were supposed to initially start this work with, and wrap up the DI sessions. It was supposed to be back in November or December. I say all that to say, know that I will look forward to coming back and re-engaging with this group. At what date, I am not exactly certain. However, I look forward to continuing the conversation and ensuring that there is sustainable transformation and actionable results that come by way of the assessment that we will conduct with the library system. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to ask you, can you tell us some of the organizations you've worked for? You've mentioned you've been here since 2018 working in Hamilton County, or maybe they were elsewhere.
Absolutely. Oh, yes, absolutely. Happy to do so. So I served as the first vice president of diversity, equity, and inclusion at the United Way of Greater Cincinnati. So 10 county service region, created the organization's first comprehensive internal and external strategy, was responsible for organizing the inaugural National Day of Racial Healing event in the tri-state region. I've worked with Bright House, HR organizations in Northern Kentucky. Honestly, it runs the gamut. The Urban League. I was just invited to join a board at the YMCA. I'm on another board for Greater Cincinnati Foundation. More extensively, I think that looking at not only the work that I did while I was at United Way, many of those organizations are also Calibrated Lens clients now. Additionally, the Arts Wave, the Cincinnati Opera, I just did a talk with them. Wave Pool, I have a talk that I'm moderating with them in the next couple of weeks. And then more broadly, as it relates to the clients that we have outside of the region, United Way Worldwide is a client. We've got multiple contracts with them. We're working with local United Ways across the country to transform and integrate this work. And then again, we also have for-profit clients. Open Door has been a client of Calibrated Lens, as well as several other organizations. So that's a little bit about the footprint and the span of our impact. What I will say is that, this is not just a job, and we are not just, a transactional firm. We are deeply engaged with community and, honestly pride ourselves in understanding and valuing lived experience equally to subject matter expertise. And so bringing both the qualitative and quantitative experiences together to provide the most comprehensive approach for all clients.
Well, thank you for that resume. I'm just proud that from the board down to the staff for the whole library, that we have a heavyweight in our midst and that our initiative will be successful. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Anything else from the board members? Anything? I'll move on. Thank you for joining us. I hope you stick around.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay. I will continue with the rest of our report. Investing in staff. In the
Judge Allen, I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
I just wanted to say Michelle Matthews has joined us, and I apologize. Michelle came in, and I wanted to make sure you all had a chance to talk to Michelle, and then I recognized her work with Design Impact in the fall and with Jen. She works with Kyla as our HR manager and has been really helping us. So Michelle, you're welcome to say hello, but I certainly want to recognize all she's done for us to kick things off.
Hello, I apologize. I joined the meeting late. It's been a day full of meetings today. But I just want to say hello, and I look forward to working with Jen. She's been great thus far, and us continuing this long-term multi-year project that we're going to embrace on.
Right. And I have I've heard your video and listened to it a couple of times, and I've read the reports that have been generated so far. So thank you so much for your work. Anything else from staff or from the board on this subject? Okay, I'll move on. Investing in staff. In the fourth quarter of 2020, we announced a coordinated initiative of investing in staff. The focus has been to identify opportunities for equity and professional growth throughout our system, detailed in the director's report. The kickoff to this effort was the creation of the library customer advisor position. This was achieved by combining the two positions of library services assistant grade 3 and starting pay rate of $14 an hour, and senior library services assistant grade 4 and starting pay of $15 an hour into a single position with a new job description that combines the two positions to one grade that has a starting pay rate of $15 an hour. A second component of investing in staff has been to address concerns of staffing capacity at small and mid-sized branches. To address this issue, library customer specialist positions were being added to 29 locations that do not currently have these roles. At a grade 5, these roles also offer new opportunities for additional career advancement for staff without the requirement of a master's in library science degree, a need which has been expressed consistently by staff. An additional component of this initiative has been to engage in a compensation review. The last comprehensive compensation review was completed in 2014. We are currently working with compensation consultant Siegel Group on this 6-month project. The goals of this project are to assess job descriptions to ensure that the corresponding qualifications of each position are in line with the duties, to identify whether current positions are classified and compensated appropriately as compared to similar organizations and relative to other positions at CHPL, to identify whether salaries are market competitive while also developing a pay scale that has a higher rate of entry-level pay and that addresses compression issues in our current pay structure. And finally, to develop a compensation philosophy and pay policies that are equitable and consistent across the organization. The goal is to complete this compensation review by the end of July 2021. Another recent development from the staff of investing in staff is the creation of a tool for managers to use while working with staff to align their 2021 performance development goals with the library's 2020 priorities. This all staff goals document is intended to be used as a tool to provide additional direction and transparency for all staff to achieve their professional goals while aligning with the current needs of our community. Staff Morale Wellbeing Initiative. The Staff Morale and Recognition Team is excited to coordinate the first of new quarterly well-being initiatives to promote overall staff health, connection, and support of one another. These needs were communicated strongly in our recent staff well-being survey, the goal of which was to find out how we can support staff well-being during the pandemic. This quarter, we will be participating in the YMCA's Reset Challenge. The Reset Challenge is a free 6-week program that offers virtual fitness classes, content for healthy living, national expert coaches, and once weekly access to YMCA of Greater Cincinnati branches. Staff will be encouraged to sign up for this challenge through the YMCA and then to join the virtual library team to connect, support, and share fitness tips and healthy recipes with each other throughout this program. That concludes the report. Diane Cunningham Redden, our president, is also present.
Thank you, Judge Allen. Just a little bit of context, and Kyla can speak to any of these, and I will talk a little bit more at the full board meeting, but some of those changes for the staffing, we had discussed earlier the need to move to that $15 and the reasons behind that. And also I wanted to make it clear that the new positions we have are not entirely new positions. They are positions that exist that we are elevating to this higher level because we really believe those smaller and mid-sized branches have a lot going on and need someone who is at a higher level and is able to do some basic supervisory and workflow management, as well as have a higher expectation for their ability to manage unforeseen situations. So did want to make that clear that we're making these changes, but we're always trying to do that in light of existing resources and skills and how we can build on that. And Kyla, I don't know if you have anything else you'd like to add around that.
I would just say as well that these 29 positions are additional inroads to the career advancement, which was mentioned in the report. But also not every location is going to get a new one whole new position. So some of these positions will be added when there is attrition to a grade 4 position. We'll have that grade 5 added to that location. So it is dependent upon what the capacity is in that current location as to whether it's a whole new position added to that staff or it is a position added with some attrition when attrition happens at that location.
Very good. So it's a merger of the senior library position and the library services assistant. And it's a
So
merger of the two.
right. So that the LCA position, which is the grade 4 position, is a combination of the grade 3 library services assistant position and the grade 4 senior LSA library services assistant. What we found when we were analyzing the two positions was that they were so similar that they did not, they shouldn't be two positions. They should be one
Mhm.
position and paid at this higher rate. And that there was a disparity amongst branches and departments that we needed to recognize and make the adjustment for.
Great that we did that. Okay.
Yes, and the final thing I'll say is I did sign up for the WISE Reset Challenge,
Yes.
Kyla. So I'm on board, and I think we have like 50 or 60 staff that have embraced that opportunity. So we're, as a whole, very excited. Jorge
Yes.
Perez sent that along to me, and we have embraced it. So that's good fun.
Absolutely. Yes, that has gotten wonderful response from our staff. One of the highest participation rates of any of our well-being initiatives that we've ever done. So this is exciting, and folks are really enjoying connecting with each other
So
here at the
are we gonna be
library.
you're gonna be sweating there at work on the fitness
Before work.
before? Okay. It's early
Exactly.
in the morning. I got you.
Hey, Betsy, I think you might be muted. So if I'm sorry, I think you might be talking, but you look like you're muted. I don't know if you can unmute if you had something.
Oh, I shouldn't be muted. No, I
You're-
wasn't muted
You now,
before.
Betsy.
There you
Beg
go.
pardon? No, I was just going to say is Paula the guinea pig trying out the YMCA project.
Hey, I'm up for whatever. Yes, absolutely. So I'll keep you guys
She runs
posted.
10 miles. She runs 10 miles a day. This is a piece of cake for you.
Pandemic has changed a lot of things, Judge Allen. So here's to getting back at it. Very good. All right. I think we're good, Judge Allen, from staff
Okay.
side.
Meeting's adjourned.
Well, do we have to vote on the grade levels?
Betsy, this will come to the full board. So this is just the informational element, and the whole thing will come to the full board.
Okay, that was my question.
but
Do we
don't
have
we
to
have-
vote?
Will
Okay.
do.
No,
We
good.
have to agree to put it in front of the board, right?
Well, we already did
Yeah.
this one, but yes, the idea would be the committee will elevate it to the board. Yes.
Yeah, because we each have to agree to present it to the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that, I think, Judge Allen, if we're good with that, if nobody has objections, we can say this is the report that we will elevate to the board.
All right, then. Well,
Okay.
I'm going to move that
Right.
we accept this
Okay.
and
Yeah.
elevate for a meeting for a vote at the full board meeting.
Absolutely. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.